What if you possessed a secret weapon, an inner fortress that no amount of external chaos could ever breach? This is the promise of Stoicism. It's not about being emotionless or having a stiff upper lip. That's a common misunderstanding. Real Stoicism is a practical philosophy for a better life. It is a tool set for navigating the unpredictable currents of our existence. Tranquility, courage, purpose. It teaches us to find a sense of calm and control in a world that often feels anything but. At its heart, Stoicism is about understanding one simple, powerful idea. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. The path to a good life, a life of virtue and serenity, lies in focusing all our energy on the former and accepting the latter with grace. This philosophy is not an abstract academic exercise. It was designed for the real world. It was forged in the marketplaces of Athens and tested in the corridors of Roman power. Stoicism is a philosophy for doers, for soldiers, for emperors, for parents, for artists, for anyone who has ever faced a challenge and wondered how to endure. The story of Stoicism begins not in a grand university, but in the bustling heart of ancient Athens. Around 300 BC, a merchant named Zeno of Citium had his life turned upside down. He was shipwrecked, losing everything he owned. Stranded in Athens, he wandered into a bookstore and began to read about Socrates. This moment changed his life, and in turn, it would change the world. Inspired by the philosophers who came before him, Zeno began to teach his own philosophy. He didn't have a formal school building. Instead, he taught from a public colonnade, a painted porch known as the Stoa Poikile. It is from this humble public space that the philosophy gets its name, Stoicism. From these open-air beginnings, the ideas began to spread. Stoicism was not a philosophy for the elite or the secluded scholar. It was for everyone. The philosophy's practical nature resonated with the pragmatic mindset of the Romans, who eventually adopted and adapted it. When we think of Stoicism, three towering figures come to mind. They are the masters of the craft. First, Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius, not just a philosopher but the emperor of Rome. He wrote during campaigns on the Germanic frontier, battlefield scenes, and a man writing in a leather journal. We know his notes as meditations. It was never meant for publication, a private practice. He wrote to become a better man. Then we have Seneca the Younger, one of the richest men in Rome, a celebrated playwright and political advisor. He was powerful and influential, but his life was constantly in peril. He was exiled, and later forced to take his own life by Nero. Through it all, he wrote. His letters and essays are a treasure trove of practical Stoic advice. Finally, Epictetus. His story is perhaps the most inspiring of all. He was born a slave in the Roman Empire. His leg was deliberately broken by his master, and he was lame for the rest of his life. After gaining his freedom, he became a renowned Stoic teacher. Because he began life with nothing, he was uniquely focused on the one thing no one could take from him, his mind. His teachings, recorded by his student Arrian, are the Discourses and the Enchiridion. They are direct, sharp, and uncompromising. The emperor, the advisor, the slave. Their lives were different, yet they all turned to the same philosophy for strength. Their teachings are not theoretical, forged in the fires of real-world experience. Stoicism's wisdom is not just a collection of nice quotes. It has been a lifeline for individuals facing the most extreme circumstances imaginable. Consider James Stockdale, an American fighter pilot shot down over Vietnam. He spent over 7 years as a prisoner of war in the infamous Hanoi Hilton. He was tortured more than 15 times. He was kept in solitary confinement for 4 years. He had no reason to believe he would ever see his family again. What kept him alive and allowed him to lead his fellow prisoners? He later said it was the teachings of Epictetus. Stockdale understood he could not control his captors. He could not control the torture. He could not control his conditions. But he could control his own will. Another powerful example comes from the Roman world itself. Cato the Younger was a Roman statesman. He was a fierce opponent of Julius Caesar. He saw Caesar's ambition as a threat to the Roman Republic he held dear. Cato embodied Stoic principle in public life. He was known for incorruptible morality. He had an unwavering commitment to justice. When Caesar defeated the Republican forces, Cato refused to live under a tyrant. Rather than beg for a pardon, he chose to take his own life, the final act of a free man refusing to compromise his principles. The principles of Stoicism also guided leaders during great social upheaval. Toussaint Louverture, leader of the Haitian Revolution, was an avid reader of Epictetus. A former slave, he led the only successful slave revolt in modern history. He founded the state of Haiti, He faced impossible odds, battling the French, he battled the Spanish, he battled the British empires. His Stoic training gave him mental fortitude. It gave him strategic patience to navigate betrayals. It helped him endure military defeats. His life testifies to how Stoic ideals can fuel a fight for justice. The world has changed dramatically since the days of Marcus Aurelius. We don't face gladiators in the Colosseum, but we face our own modern arenas. We have 24/7 news cycles delivering a constant stream of anxiety. We have social media feeds designed to provoke outrage and comparison. We have economic uncertainty. We have career pressures. We have the overwhelming feeling of being constantly connected, yet somehow more isolated. The specifics of our problems are new, but the underlying human condition is the same. We still crave tranquility. We still crave purpose. We still crave resilience. This is why Stoicism is experiencing a powerful resurgence today. It is the perfect antidote to the chaos of the modern world. Consider the core Stoic practice of focusing on what you can control. This is not a passive act of resignation. It is an active sorting process that brings immediate clarity and relief. You cannot control the stock market. You cannot control a sudden corporate restructuring. You cannot control a global pandemic. Fretting about these things is a waste of your most precious resource, your attention and energy. What can you control? Your response. You can control how you manage your finances. You can control your efforts to learn new skills. You can control looking for a new job. Let's bring this down to the ground. How does Stoicism work on a Tuesday morning when you're stuck in traffic and late for an important meeting? The untrained mind gets angry. It curses the other drivers. It lets frustration and stress take over. Your blood pressure rises, and your day is already soured. The Stoic, however, sees the situation clearly. The traffic is external, outside your control. Getting angry won't make the cars move, it only punishes you. Or consider a modern frustration, a negative comment on social media, or a harsh email from a colleague. Instinct is to get defensive, to feel hurt, or to fire back. That's giving someone power over your peace. A practicing Stoic would pause. They ask, is this criticism true? If yes, an opportunity to learn and improve. Thank the person for the feedback, even if poorly delivered. If false or provocative, why let it disturb you? You control your character, not theirs. Stoicism helps with personal setbacks too. Imagine you don't get the promotion you worked for. Disappointment is natural, but don't linger there. The decision was made by others. External. Dwelling breeds bitterness and resentment. Instead ask, what can I learn? What is within my control now? Control your effort to get feedback. Control your dedication to improve skills. Control your attitude and keep doing your best. The setback becomes a catalyst for growth. Turn the obstacle into the way forward. So why does a philosophy born on a painted porch in ancient Athens still speak to us so clearly today? It is because Stoicism is not tied to a specific culture, religion, or historical period. It is tied to the fundamental, unchanging challenges of being human. We all face loss. We all experience frustration. We all have to deal with difficult people. We all know that we will one day die. Stoicism does not offer easy answers or false hope. It offers a compass. It provides a durable, reliable, and practical guide for navigating the turbulent waters of life. It is a philosophy built for action, not for debate. The power of Stoicism lies in its simplicity and its focus on personal agency. It returns the locus of control to the individual. In a world that often makes us feel small and powerless, tossed about by forces beyond our understanding, Stoicism reminds us of our ultimate sovereignty over our own minds. It tells us that while we cannot choose our circumstances, we can always choose our response. This is not just an empowering idea, it is the very definition of freedom. It's the ability to maintain our inner peace and our moral character regardless of what is happening in the world around us. This is a source of immense strength and tranquility. More than just a coping mechanism, Stoicism is a recipe for a good life, a life of meaning and virtue. It is a timeless compass for the soul, ready to guide anyone who is willing to pick it up and use it, and it is open to all of us.